Only the Bulls, only the Bulls, only the one and only Chicago
Doom
Bulls.
doom ba doom doom ba doom 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 ba doom 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 ba doom ba boom ba doom 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 ba.
Who can set the court on fire?
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome
Only the
back to
Bulls
another
keep
episode
us
of the
burning
Running with the Bulls
desire.
podcast. Adam and Josh running the audio pick and roll. Josh, 3 straight losses. What a difference it's been since the last time we recorded.
I feel like yelling like Sam Kinison does during his stand-up specials. God rest his soul. It's just I'm going crazy here. 5 of their last 6 games, they have lost.
Yeah,
Three in
for
a
winning
row.
their first 5.
It's just I must say I was expecting more from this team. I really thought they turned a corner. I understood they had their weaknesses, but that's the thing with the NBA, man. Teams scout you. They figure out ways for you to become, lesser than what you are and make it harder for you to win games. But let's be real. Last night was not acceptable.
Last night was horrible.
Last night you had the top 7 players out. You had a third string center give 28, 13, and 6 on you. You had a guy on a 10-day contract score 18 and 12. That can't happen. Duncan Robinson's a proven, savvy vet who if you leave him open, he's going to kill you. He went 8 for 13. You can't be doing these things. You knew they were going to come out you knew they were going to punch you in the mouth. You knew you had to be ready for that, and you weren't ready for it. Plain and simple, you were not ready for it. That cannot happen. That can't happen. Absolutely unacceptable from the Bulls. And Vooch has been piss poor lately. He had 6 points. You can't have 6 points from Vooch. Vooch is averaging 10 and 6, shooting 39%, or I believe it's either 37 and 39% in his last 4 games. Without Josh Giddey, he's shooting, I think I saw somewhere like less than 20% at the rim. That's disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to rewind to where you said, I didn't see this coming. Is that what you said?
It's not that I didn't see it coming. The Bulls had the hardest schedule in the NBA to start the season.
Because here's the deal. We did see this coming. If you go back to...
But here's the thing. I could see losses coming.
Let me talk. You just talked. You did your whole spiel there on your poetics on last night's atrocity. However, I think that as far as, yes, opponents can take things away, but an injury takes away Josh Giddey and they're a completely different team. And
they're a bad team without Josh Giddey.
Well, yeah. And that's you can say that about most teams when they don't have their best player. And so they're clearly not a team we expected to be, a contender, and so they have lost to some contenders, legit, like the Cavs and, the Pistons. It's weird that they beat them opening night and then lost to their bench mob. But I think that overall, I expect ebbs and flows throughout the season because this is a team that we knew had its flaws. They got shot out of a cannon, and they played really well at the beginning of the year, and they have done a lot of positive things because every game has been close. They made it close last night. I don't think they're a bad team. I just think that they're a predictable team. When they're moving the ball really well, it's less predictable on the fly, but you know what they're going to try to do. And that's beat you in transition and, beat you by volume of threes and controlling the flow of the game. But I think that without Giddey, yeah, like you said, they are a bad team. But we got a lot to get to. It'll still be a very good episode on the show because we're going to be talking about some crazy rumors. Some of the stuff with people are talking about Ja Morant. People are talking to Anthony Davis. The Mavericks have exploded. What's his balls got fired. But yeah, man, what a time to be alive for Bulls fans. What an emotional roller coaster to start 5-0 And then all of a sudden it's like this free fall. I feel like in the grand scheme of things, you can kind of it's a game of runs and it can be a season of runs too. I feel like this is a bad one. Get Giddey healthy. I'm not the reason I'm not like too distraught is because like I knew they weren't as good as their record. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they were 5-0, and I was joking around with my pals and saying that they were going to go. What did I keep saying? I said that they were going to go 98-0. I kept saying that over and over again. And obviously, I didn't think they were ever going to win more than maybe 45 games, maybe 47.
Well, they've reduced to the mean, which is fine. It's just, I will say this: Giddey's averaging 21, 10, and 9. You know how hard it is to replace that. I will say that it's very hard to replace that.
Totally, yeah.
Giddey produces 40 points a game for you at least on the
Yeah,
average rate. He's giving you 40 points a game from his assists and his points. That is incredibly hard to replace in a lineup. And when he got hurt, if he doesn't get hurt in the Cleveland game, they probably win that game. If he's playing against San Antonio, they probably win that game. So I'm not saying it's all
yeah,
doom and gloom. It's just it can be so much better than it is. And it's really
yeah.
frustrating to see them at 6-5. I know they're one Vooch 3 from being 5-6,
Right.
but there is a silver lining in this. The question is, does it get better from here? We'll see. I mean, they could be 6-8 after this road trip. I mean, let's be
We
real.
knew this road trip is really tough. I mean, we kind of talked about
It
how
doesn't
tough
get
their
easier.
schedule is, but then it gets a lot easier. So it's like we got to get through this, and then we finally get to face some. And I'd rather have the team face like a really hard schedule at the front of the year, and so hopefully it just like shocks them, like a shock to the system. Like, okay, we better get better, because this isn't good enough. And I like what Billy Donovan said about like you have to be more desperate. I know I'm paraphrasing, but I got a funny story for you about last night's game. So
Okay.
I knew that like the seven starters were out, and I couldn't figure out like who the starting center was. And so I went to RotoWire to look at like the projected NBA starting lineups, and I see like they had Jalen Duren it listed at center percent out in big red letters. And so like there was literally no one on there. And so I'm like, I go to the Twitter or X, whatever, and I find the Pistons starting lineup. Lo and behold, it's Paul Reed, DePaul's very own. And so I go to pick him up in fantasy hoops, and I'm like, and it's between Russell Westbrook, Paul Reed, or the dude DeAndre Hunter. So I wound up going with Hunter because it felt like the safest move. 41 points on my bench, Paul Reed. I
Nice.
should have just trusted myself because like it's just and that's like if I could pick just about any like random player, not like obviously I would want like I've talked about like Santi Aldama or like Zion Williamson or like those guys would be awesome, but like I would love like realistic guy like Paul Reed to the Bulls. He'd be someone who could help right away. And I know I've said that at some point, but I really like his game, man. He made good passes. He had 4 steals. He was like, it sucked. And I was like, kind of shooting myself throughout the game because I'm like, why didn't I start him? Why didn't I start him? I knew it was a great matchup. I knew that there was going to be super fast pace, but I was like, damn, dude, what a pass back door. And like, you always want to root for your Blue Demon guys too, but it was fun seeing Paul Reed go crazy, man.
Yeah, it was nice to see him go off.
Just not
But
against the Bulls. Why did it have
exactly.
to be against the Bulls?
Exactly. It's just, I don't know what to say really. I'm just that bummed out that it was that bad. I'm very bummed out it was that bad.
To lose to the bench. Um,
Listen, if they
but
got blown out by 20 points and Cade Cunningham scored 35, I'm not mad.
yeah, or yeah, just that's because obviously like their first place in the East, I think that they're very well coached, and I think that they were like it was such a revenge game for them that I feel like they caught the Bulls off guard because the Bulls came into it. It seemed like we're gonna play the Pistons bench, and they're like you beat us, and every player was like playing for desperation because they're trying to prove they have what it takes. Like every player playing for the Pistons, you could probably say that's one of the biggest games of their life because it's young players who are like trying to get into the rotation with basically the rotation was out.
Right.
And so like that's what it comes back to what Billy said. I love what he said there.
Yeah, I mean, God, that bummed me out. I'm going to say it over and over again. But you know what? You tip your hat to a well-coached team. They're 10-2 right now. They're second best team in the NBA, and it's a credit to their coaching, and it's a credit to the fact that they have a lot of depth. They drafted a lot of good players, and that's what makes it good. And what the heck are you doing?
My cat. There we go. I just had
Oh,
it
there you go.
nearby. So here we go. That's how I do it. You
That's
remember
how you
this
do it.
bad boy?
I remember that one. I remember it. I still got mine. But I mean, what are you gonna do? What can you say? I mean, the Pistons have really developed their team very well. That's a credit to them, and it's a blueprint for how the Bulls should do these things. You develop through the draft, but you need that one superstar. The Bulls don't have that guy. They have Kate Cunningham, who's turned into a superstar,
Yeah.
and you know you need that guy who can be that closer to close out the games for you.
Like I
And the
think in
Bulls,
theory, though, like you could get like if you have Giddey and Kobe both healthy, it's going to get really interesting on like how they're able to close games. I'm interested to see what that looks like because like I do think Kobe can be cold-blooded. I feel like he's
no,
been
he
like
can. He definitely can, but he hasn't proven it enough yet where I'm
right.
totally
Well, I feel
confident.
like with Kobe, it's like most of his career he's kind of under the wings and some tutelage as well of like Levine and DeRozan.
Right.
And we've seen in stretches like him be pretty dang good. But this is like his first season ever where he gets to kind of like go be the best scorer on the Chicago Bulls. Like day one, he knows like, all right, this is like a contract year for me, and I'm the best scorer on the team, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm interested to see like, because let me run through some stats with for you, all right? Because like without Giddey, like we said, they're a different team. But like once you put Giddey and Kobe on the floor, I feel like you kind of piece that Cade guy together because you have your playmaker in Giddey and you have your scorer in Kobe, and they're both very good together. So I think that, and I do think that they both will make life easier for Vooch and Booze. And then I'm interested to see kind of like what kind of lineup changes come after we get that. But here's some crazy stats for you, okay? So with Giddey, they're the Bulls are +3 net rating, and then they're
Was it like
around a
-5 without him?
-8.5.
Yikes.
Yeah, offensive rating is top five in the league, uh, and in pace, 117.8, and then they're bottom 10 in efficiency without him.
Because he's so good at getting guys open.
Yeah.
That's the key.
And then the defensive rating, like the transition defense in particularly, has gone from like mid defensive rating to like very bad, especially in like transition.
Okay.
Um, they went from scoring 118 points a game to 110. They went from third in the NBA with 29.8 assists in a game or per game to without him 24 and a half. They've turned the ball over at 18.5% higher errors to before it was 14.2 with all the improved ball movement we were seeing. They were shooting 38.5% from three, now shooting 34. Like he literally was kind of like if this is a wheel, he is pretty much the hubcap there. He was the one
Yeah,
holding
he
everything
is.
together.
He's the glue guy. And when you don't have a glue guy, it makes everything a lot harder. So I get
It's
it.
like, yeah. If it's like, yeah. I mean, It's like basically Josh Giddey is the Christmas tree and everyone else is ornaments. Like,
No, that's a good way to describe it. That's a good way to describe it. It's not a bad way to describe it, man. And
he is the system.
yeah, he is the system, and without him, we're just not that good of a team.
Yeah,
It's that simple.
because he's like our second best rebounder. He's our
Correct.
best passer. He's, would you say our what scorer? I think Kobe's the best scorer on the team, and then I would
I
probably
would say
say
Vooch is second, Giddey's third.
I think, yeah, you could say that. I could think you could argue Buzella's better scorer than Giddey, but I don't think I would say that. I'd say Buzella's fourth.
Yeah, I would put Buzelis fourth. He's still got a long way to go to develop his game before I can put him as a great scorer, but he's getting there.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that like before we kind of move on to some of the crazy topics, I can't believe we're talking about Ja Morant and Anthony Davis, but before we kind of move into that next thing, I'll just say that last night sucked, but overall, still having a great time. Still having a great time. I think that the team's going to be so much better when Kobe gets back, and I'm just waiting. But I hope that Giddey's ankle is okay, and I hope that he's not out much longer because, like, we got to beat Utah. We got to beat Utah, and they have
No,
a
I
lot
agree.
of time. And Utah's not very good, and Kessler's out for the season. Um, so yeah,
I think that they will have a tough time with Lauri Markkanen, but outside of Lauri Markkanen, I really don't see who's going to scare me on Utah. That let Laurie get his 30, and then the rest of the guys just they're going to give him issues, but like maybe can give him issues, but I just don't see Utah being that big of a problem for the Bulls.
it shouldn't be.
The
And if
next two
they
games are
are,
good.
and that's
The
the first
next two
bad team
games are
they'll
going to be
play.
friggin' brutal. The next two games are going to be friggin' brutal. Portland's going to be a huge problem.
Portland game is going to be really fun. I hope Kobe and I doubt Kobe will be back, but I hope Giddey's back for that one. But if
I
Kobe
think
was
it,
back, that would
I
be a
think Billy
fun
said that
game.
Giddey. I think Billy said Giddey was only going to miss 2 games.
Okay. Dude, Portland is like top three in pace. Drew Holiday having himself a year. Denny Advia playing like an all-star. They're like
And
Splitter
he's
might be a
doing it
better
through
coach than
all this hate.
Billups.
And I gotta say, I applaud Denny because he is getting so much hate from people
Over
for
what?
he served in the Israeli army. People don't like the Israeli army, dude. For political reasons. They don't like him.
Sure. Well, as a basketball player, he might be the most
As a
underrated
basketball
player.
player, that's not the point. It's the fact that he's serving the Israeli army. People like give him shtick for it, which is literally you're legally required to do if you're an Israeli citizen, unless you're an Orthodox Jew. Then you don't have to. But everyone has to do it. So he literally served for like I think a year or two, and then that was it. And he didn't go into combat, but whatever. I'm not getting into this. The point is that he's getting all this shtick and he's still balling out. In his last 5 games, he is shooting 49%, 37.5 from three. He is averaging 6 rebounds a game, 6.5, 5 assists, 30 points per game.
Tell you what, if you put him on the Bulls, I'd lose my mind. But I think him
If you put him
and
on the Bulls, I get his name in Hebrew letters in five. I get his jersey in Hebrew letters in 5 seconds.
yeah, that
That'd be
would
the
be
best
so
jersey.
sick. You should just get that for Blazers. He's seriously one of my
I
favorite
kind
players
of
in the league.
want to. I really do, because he's going to be the first Israeli player to ever make the All-Star team if he keeps this up.
Dude, he's a blast. I think
He'd
he's
be
the
the first
most.
Jewish basketball player, I think, in like. I mean, if you count, you can count Amari Stoudemire, you can, but he'd be the first Jewish basketball player since maybe Dolph Shays to make an All-Star team. That would be crazy.
Shays just came up on the show.
I'm,
First time ever, folks.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he'd be the first ones besides
What team
Amari
did he even
Stoudemire.
play for? Dolph Shays.
Syracuse Nationals, I'm pretty sure.
So the Sixers?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
how long ago it was since a Jewish guy made an all-star team.
Dude,
That's
those are
how
some
long
good
it's been.
trivia questions. We'll have to do that on the old full
I'm
court
pretty
trap.
I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one. I'm pretty sure.
I like that one. All right, it's time. So do you want to talk about Ja or AD?
Let's start with AD because that's more realistic.
All right, go.
It I'm not saying I want AD because he's way too injury prone. I can 100% see Jerry Reinsdorf pulling the trigger on that deal if it doesn't cost him Kobe White. If you can get him for like Vucevic, Kevin Herter, and like 2 first-round picks or something, and they just say we're getting rid of AD. We don't care what it costs us. We're just getting rid of him. We're just getting rid of that contract. We just want expiring contracts and 2 or 3 draft picks. Then I can see him doing it. If it costs you Kobe White and Vucevic, get out of here. I don't want to even talk to you.
See how much this guy's making.
I think 49 something like that. 51 maybe. He's got to be making at least 45.
He's making, okay, man.
How
if
much?
they do this, I will be
Pissed.
angry for the next 4 years.
Jerry Reinsdorf will do it because he wants the I mean,
No,
the
he
Bulls are a cash cow. Don't get me wrong, but
No,
AD
no.
as a
We're
Chicago
about
guy,
to squash these rumors with Thor's hammer. This is so crazy.
no. How about Gal? What is it? Who's the guy with the big hammer with the watermelons? Gallagher.
How about Thor? We're sticking with Thor, folks.
Okay, fine. Thor. There you go.
Way better, way cooler. So this year he's making just a measly 43 million. Next year he's making 54 million. Then he's making 60
God.
million. Then he's making 68 million.
I don't want that. I don't want
No,
that on the books.
and you can't because, dude,
It would ruin your whole plan.
Exactly, and he's 32, and so he's gonna be 36, and he already like
He's
has
out of
not
shape
played a
too.
healthy season.
He's also out of shape. He's out of shape this season
Well,
too.
because that idiot Nico whatever Harrison made him gain a bunch of weight. That guy, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that guy like
Did you
was
hear
a
the
mole
report?
for another team. He
Did
like
you hear the
some other
report? The report is that he begged Anthony Davis to come back to save his job, and the medical staff said if he comes back, he'll tear his Achilles most likely. So he can't. We're not medically clearing him to come back. He begged AD to come back while he was hurt. That's
I
bad.
hate them. It's despicable. So he is
Not to
not
mention,
played.
AD doesn't even fit the offense because AD has not shot over 30% from the 3-point line since 2020.
He's not played over 51 games. He played 51 games in 24, 25, 23, 24, 76. But other than that, he hadn't played like, I mean, he's never been a guy who's like super healthy. The most games he's ever played is 76, which is solid. And he's had a 76 game, 75
He's
game.
played over 70 games 3 times his whole career.
But like so many seasons where it's like 36 games, 40 games, 42 games. These like, so since the 76 game, so since 23, 24, when he played 76, it's been 51 games and then 42 games. Or no, I'm sorry, 51 total. I
The
was
point is
looking
it's
at.
bad. I mean, the point is it's bad. And I don't want who would you rather have, Zion or Anthony Davis at this point?
Well, definitely Zion. There's just so much more upside. There's no way he costs anywhere as much. I'll pull up his salary. And I think he would actually fit way better in the team because, like, the thing about Zion is if you were able to plug him in, he would actually be the Bulls center. And so you would have him be the center. You would have Matas Buzelis and maybe more Patrick Williams to go a little bigger. You definitely want Okoro could, but like you'd be very quick. You'd be quicker and a little smaller, but you'd have basically Zion do what Vooch is doing, but with more like attacking from the top instead of shooting from the top. And so
Yeah.
you'd see a lot of backdoor action where like Zion is a passer. Like you'd get him moving in this system, you'd get him like opportunities to go downhill, and you'd use him as a like secondary facilitator because you'd be able to have like a lot of very dangerous action with like, let's say, you got Giddey going left, and then you have up around the top Zion, little dribble handoff action. All of a sudden, he's going downhill on a pick and roll with Vooch. You have like Giddey floating the corner, and then you have rotation on the perimeter. Like you can just do things. You
Oh
know what I
my.
mean?
Breaking
Sorry.
news.
There's my I just wrote a play. It's a great
No, I
play.
got you. I
But that
got
play
you.
is called Zion. And I just
No,
wrote it.
I wouldn't mind if Zion was a bull over AD. I think it would fit more. Plus, he's a lot younger.
Yeah.
It's
He could
just
still turn into a really, 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 really good player where like AD, I think, is going to be a salary liability. I think we're going to talk about him as one of the
you can
worst
argue
contracts in the
Zion's a salary
NBA.
liability, but lesser.
Yeah. Well, I think Zion, like he's played a lot of games so far this season. Like I know he hasn't played every game, but like, gosh, if Zion was just healthy for like the playoff, like, he'd just be such an unbelievable fit in Chicago. It's just like you
I
could
think
not
Zion
do
would
it
be
with a
good in
fit.
Chicago, and he'd get a fresh start. He's also talked about how much he loves playing in Chicago, how much he loves Bulls fans, and how much he respects them. I really think he would be much better off if he just wasn't in New Orleans. That place is a basketball hellhole. No one survives there. It's just a disaster there, period, for anybody who plays basketball. I
So
think he would be
Zion,
like,
way better contract. It's 34, or I'm sorry, no, this year it's 40, then it's 41, then it's 44.
that's reasonable ish.
And then there's like a lot of different like there's a lot built into it. There's like so this year's fully guaranteed, but the next year is non-guaranteed, the following year's non-guaranteed, and then there's like a lot of triggers and
You could throw a
incentives.
flyer at him for 1 year and say, if you don't play 60 games, we're just getting rid of you. You could just try that. I mean, I'm not going to be mad at that.
Would love to see it happen, but I doubt it.
We'll
We're
see.
talking about a pipe dream.
I
But
know.
man, would it be fun? He'd just be, yeah, it's a no-brainer for me because I just think that AD is like going to be a guy who plays around 40 to 50 games. And I think that Nico Harrison, um, like it's almost never a good idea to tell a guy to get fat. And that's not what he said, but like he gained a lot of weight.
I
And
will
then
say this: have your doctor tell you to get fat. That's a good doctor.
it's just not like, I've talked to like, I covered like an athlete who played college football and he switched from tight end to offensive line. And he had to he went from like 230 to 310.
That's not healthy.
And that's like, and yeah, it's like sometimes you have to do stuff like that. And you see like Jeff Saturday really slim down, right? And like you see those people kind of change their bodies. But it's just crazy I think like basketball's a sport, especially now, where it's like you want to be like, you don't want to be as skinny as Matas Bazelis or like young Giannis or KD, but like you don't want to be like, Jokic uses his body weight very well, but he's the exception to the rule, and he got so much better when he lost weight. You know,
Yeah.
like they were concerned about Luka's weight, but then he tells like this Nico Harrison guy, he should. How did he? Where did he even come from? Who is this dude? This guy is like unfathomably dumb. Just the decisions, like he wasn't even. They had Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I don't know what to say. I mean, he destroyed a franchise, and it's so bad. Mark Cuban is back making decisions. That's how bad it is.
I always
They
liked Cuban. He's
actually
aggressive.
I respect Mark Cuban. What he's going to do is he's going to rip that whole team apart. AD is going to be gone. He's going to say, we're going to build around Cooper Flag, and we're going to figure this out.
Yeah,
Mark
I think they're
Cuban can
gonna.
win.
Gosh,
Mark Cuban, if I've always said this, if I could have any owner in sports, I would love to have Mark Cuban. I wanted this guy to own the Cubs forever because now we have Tom Ricketts, and I friggin' hate Tom Ricketts. I'm not going down that road. I just hate him. Because Mark Cuban would say, money, that's not an issue. I'll do whatever I can.
he just wants to win.
He just wants to win. That is it. That
All
is
right,
it.
so let's get on to the. But we've squashed the rumors, I think, right? Like, can we just say before
Yeah.
we move on
Yeah,
to
yeah.
this one?
By the way,
No
breaking
way.
news. By the way, we also have breaking news. Steph Curry is leaving Under Armour.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, wild,
If he goes
wild.
to Jordan, that'd be interesting.
Goes to. Okay, we
He
gonna
he
see.
fits Jordan Brand like a glove. He
Yeah,
does.
I
Let's
do
be real.
agree.
He's
I
a
do
Jordan
agree.
Brand kind of guy. That's what he is. That'd be great. I would love a Jordan. I would love to get me some Jordan brand curries. That'd be awesome.
I just found out Stephon Diggs is about to play against me in Thursday Night Football. That's my breaking news.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
don't like
That'd
that.
be fun.
Anyway, yeah, so on to the Ja Morant stuff. Ja Morant,
No, no,
I don't want him either.
no. Are you kidding? You have Josh Giddey. What do you need him for?
Yeah.
Let's just think about this. Josh Giddey is making $25 million the next 4 years after this year. 25 million for the next 4 years per year. He's underpaid at that. And he's averaging 22. He's going to give you 22, 10, and 9. That's what Ja Morant gives you 21 and 6. Why would you? Like, there's no debating this. Ja Morant's useless. And he's a head case. Why would you want that on your team? I wouldn't. I don't think Ja Morant's even tradable at this point.
And like,
Unless you trade him to.
I mean,
There's one team I could see him going to, and that team's in Houston, Texas.
I like that.
That's the only place I see him being tradable to, and everyone going, shut up, we're trying to win a championship, don't screw this up.
Dude, that's a great idea.
That would be the best place, would be the Houston Rockets. That would be the best team for him to go to. You can trade him Van Fleet's contract. Memphis hits the reset button. You can give them a few guys. I think they'd be okay.
I think like could actually still like if they wanted to just get some of like reset by getting some of Houston's other young assets. You know what I mean? That's what
You could
my
give him Reed
angle would be.
Shepard too. You could.
Well, like I know he's going to be out for a while, but I think they're pretty good when Scottie Pippen Jr. is running the show.
Yeah, I think they'd be fine if he was. And Scottie Pippen Jr. is a solid point guard.
Very
He's not
good.
a superstar, but he's solid.
It's crazy though, and I'm grateful to say I'd way rather have Josh Giddey, especially when you consider the contract. But I feel like Ja Morant, Chicago would be such a horrible place for him. Like, honestly, I mean, I don't know if this is going to sound insensitive or what, but this guy is a knucklehead who is flashing around guns in his Instagram videos and been warned multiple times and doing like the hand grenade celebration. Like, I don't even want him in Chicago, dude. You look at what like Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah have done for this city, and like when Joakim started the Rock the Drop campaign to stop like they're trying to fight against like gang violence in Chicago and everything. Like, I don't want. Not only do I want Ja Morant nowhere near the Bulls, I want him nowhere near Chicago. I think that he is a horrible role model, and I think that would be bad for the city. To
They're
like,
not
I
gonna
mean, I don't even
listen.
care
We
how
know
good
they're
he is
not
at
going to do it.
basketball.
So we know they're not going to do it. So I
No,
have no real concerns. I know we're just talking here just to talk, but let's be realistic and let's be real.
yeah,
To all our listeners out there, we know this isn't going to happen.
yeah,
Just having a conversation about it
yeah.
because
But
the Bulls are
with
not
there's
the eight. I would say in order of realistic trades, I'm still putting AD one because I don't know why, but Jerry Reinsdorf I think would be that stupid to pull the trigger on this.
see the thing is Karnisovas and
I don't
Eversley,
think they'll do it because they have
they
a vision
wouldn't
for
do
this
it.
team and it doesn't
They
fit.
wouldn't do it. And it's not going to get to the point where Jerry Reinsdorf isn't just going to be like, hey, well, let's trade for Anthony Davis. And if he did, they'd be like, how about we don't? And he'd be like, okay. But if they were like, hey, let's trade for Anthony Davis, then I agree that he would probably be like, okay. But like, they wouldn't do that. So it will not happen. And screw, it's like these goofy, like clickbait wannabe sports apps that put up these
It's so dumb.
ridiculous trade images. And it's like the Bulls will give 3 first-round picks, Kevin Herter and Josh Giddey and Kobe White. And then the Bulls will get like an injury-prone 32-year-old who just became overweight and is out indefinitely. Like, who do you think you are? And why did
Right.
anyone let you own a phone to tell more people about the dumb things you think? That's just stupid.
Yeah. So I'm not really worried about it. I really wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't. And I'm not going to. It's plain and simple.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. All right, we got about 3 minutes left in the show. Let's take a look at the Bulls' upcoming schedule.
I think the next game is against Utah, right?
It is. Yep.
I think
And
that's a
then-
win, and then they'll lose their next 2, so they'll be 7-7.
Yeah, Nuggets
Listen,
and
let's be
Blazers
real.
very tough.
Jokic is going to annihilate us.
I don't think that the Blazers a guaranteed loss. I think that's teams both that and the Heat game are going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be like 140 to 140.
Ugh.
Those are like
I do not. Well, I definitely am not going to that game because the lowest ticket price is $80.
wow. Those are literally the 3 fastest teams in the league right now: the Bulls, the Blazers, and the Heat. So those are going to be some fun games. Also, I'm very excited to see what Hami Hawkes looks like because he's been putting up some nice stat lines.
Hami Hawkes. Okay. I thought you said
Yeah.
Hami Raid for 2 seconds.
Speaking of good shooters,
Shout
yeah, sniper that one.
out Hami.
But,
No, Hami Hawkes. I mean, I remember when he came out, and the guy I'm most interested to see what they can do with is he's not really playing yet, but they picked that kid from Illinois, and I'm
Yeah.
just wondering when he's going to get his turn.
Well,
Yakashunas.
going
That kid's going to be a good player.
he's going to have to wait for a while.
He will, but he's going to get his chance, and when he gets his chance, everyone's going to go, "I told you, Miami did it again," and they always
Yeah,
do it every
He's
time.
going to be good. But I think the Bulls can be all right these next 8. Like you got the Jazz win, Nuggets, I think they lose. Blazers,
That's a toss-up. So is Miami.
I feel like that's a toss-up. Miami, I think they're going to win. I think Kobe's going to come back and they're going to beat Miami. And then I think they're going to beat Washington. Then I think they're going to beat the
If they
Pelicans.
lose to
and I think they're going to
Washington-
beat the
if they lose
Hornets.
to-
And I think they're going to beat the Pacers. And
If
then
they
they're
lose to Washington, can we agree we hit the panic button? If you lose
Yes.
if you lose 2 of 3 to Washington, New Orleans, and Charlotte, and then you play Indiana, if you lose 3 or 4 to those teams,
this is
I'm
where
done.
a stretch where they get
You're
to
in
get some
trouble.
wins. But the reason I hesitated is, you know who's playing very, very well for Washington?
Alexander Sarr.
Yeah, that dude's
He's a
a
good player.
monster. He's
He's a
having
good
a
player.
great year. So
He's having a great year, but they're 1-11. So, and how much of a difference are you really making?
are they really 1-11? Jeez, yeah, Bulls should.
They're
Yeah,
1-11.
She's 1-11.
They're so bad. Well, dude, they give up 130 a game. You thought our defense was bad. They have.
Jeez.
It's an abyss.
Yeah,
with them.
Sarr will cause some problems for Vooch though if they don't be
He
careful.
will, but I'm not too worried about Sarr. Like he's their only.
He's literally their only player. The Bulls are going to win.
It'd be like me in a courtroom. Like they can't defend anything.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's been another.
Your Honor,
fantastic-
case dismissed. Your Honor, case dismissed. I'm not even going to listen
Case
to this. Player.
dismissed. Thank you for listening, Your Honor. And we'll see you guys next time. Have a great weekend. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Who can make the madhouse rock? Only the Bulls. Who can shoot, jam, and block? Only the Bulls. Who can fly in full stride round the floor? After losing little battles, coming back to win the war. Only the Bulls. Yeah, Bulls. Only the Bulls. Chicago Bulls. Only the one and only Chicago Bulls. All around the world, they know this team will survive. Who's got the pride, the glory to keep the dream alive? Only the Bulls, only the Bulls, only the one and only Chicago Bulls. Who can fly through the air? Who can get them off their feet? Who can always snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat? Who can play the toughest defense, shattering the score, get Chicago up and rocking, crying out for more? Only the Bulls, only the Bulls, Chicago Bulls. Only the one and only Chicago Bulls. Ay, 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 ay. Ooh, Chicago Bulls. Ay, yeah. Ooh, Chicago Bulls. Ay, 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 ay. Ooh, Chicago Bulls. Ay, 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 ay. Ooh, Chicago Bulls.